let's get right into making our avatar. So a good place to start is just like with like really basic shapes. I'm going to use like a rectangle here. Let me adjust kind of my stroke. I like the stroke and kind of this gray color to start off with. But again, kind of like a really simple rectangle. I'm going to change some of these rounded corners so I could get this kind of like elonged oval kind of shape. I like that. So he has these very specific kind of eyes. Again, I'm using like the ellipsy tool here. And again, just use some of these awesome, simple shape tools that we have. I'm gonna look at my glasses here. I use this rounded rectangle tool a lot. It pops up after you create a shape and use your direct selection tool. Like they will pop up right there. Your control panel, when you have your direct selection tool selected, your corner weights right there. It also is in your rectangle properties, which is cool. But it's pretty easy just to use the direct selection tool and select specific points and around those corners. You can maybe make these glasses a little bit bigger. Cool. That's a good start just to like get some of this stuff down. We'll tweak a lot of it later. I'll use another simple ellipse to represent the ear. That's looking good. Maybe I don't need to worry too much about the neck right now. Let's even just put that kind of this ellipse here to get an idea. Okay, that's a good like foundation, I think, to like work from. And what I do like to do is to create like multiple copies of the avatar through different steps. I'm going to place that up there, copy this, and then start to work on it again. It's kind of nice to have all those multiple instances of your avatar so you could see like where you could go back, where you can change things, where things took the wrong turn. I think at this point it's good to start to refine this a little bit more. These eyes are maybe a little big for me. Let's shrink them a little bit. And again, I kind of like this like classic Mickey style of eye. Gonna take a triangle shape and cut it out. Yeah, I don't know if there's a specific name for this type of style of an eye, but I'm not sure. I think now I want to build more into these like pretty dominant kind of features that I have. So let's look at the eyebrow. It kind of goes up and down a little bit. And again, you can just like even use like simple geometric shapes. I'll use the rectangle tool. And here I'm going to use some of the pen tool to connect some of these shapes. I think that looks cool. But it depends on the attributes you want to highlight. Because these like physical characteristics play into kind of some of like the softer characteristics of your personality. I would prefer my avatar to be a little bit more approachable. I like this nose, and it kind of reference like what I was going to, some of that classic Mickey style, but maybe it's not like completely appropriate for this. I want to kind of focus a little bit more on my brow here. You can see that, again, I'm getting old and have some definition in these certain areas. So let's try to make that with our line tool. Put a little rounded corner there, another rounded corner. Yeah, and I kind of like that nose. Like, again, it's not super characteristic of my nose that I currently have, but there's different points where you could just make changes as you want. So I think this is looking pretty cool. I might take another copy. Let's move some of this over. Okay, now I have another version, so I can always kind of go back to these distinct kind of areas. Let's see, I'm gonna work on this ear super quick. Let's give it a white fill. And here it's pretty easy to, with your add anchor point tool, add some spots. Use my direct selection tool to delete a couple of these anchor points. That's looking cool, but I need to start looking at the mouth now. And this was another feature that I wanted to like possibly pay more attention to. We might be fine with just this mouth shape right here, but I do have kind of these bigger lips. So I think I will take a shape, put an arc on it, and then kind of adjust this down. Put that effect on here, but I could always go back to it in my appearance panel, which is pretty cool. I'm going to expand this appearance so it has this curve to it, and maybe just adjust it just a little bit. It's getting there. I have to do a bunch more tweaks to it. I think I'm going to put like kind of a lower lip too, but the opposite way. Yeah, something like that. Okay. That is getting there. Now I can start to adjust some of this other stuff. That's looking good. I think one big feature that I forgot to mention was this big old beard, or it's not that big, but this beard that I have. So that'd be fun to also detail that out in the avatar. So maybe we could start in on that. Add some more details to the eyes. You know, again, I'm getting old, so bags under my eyes. Good things to think about is like when you're creating these simple avatars is like symmetry and consistency through like the different elements. All my strokes are 2-point strokes. You just saw that I copied that specific frame of my glasses to the next one. So it's kind of nice to like keep things like consistent, and it will kind of play out to better compositions and ultimately more cohesive, stronger, successful kind of illustration or avatar in this case. Again, we could tweak this to forever, but it's good to continue, keep going on. Make sure it has the right cap on it. Now, like we talked about, I added some of those details, but we want to put the beard on there. We use my line tool. I think it's looking pretty good, like how I want it to look. I mean, there is like some small tweaks, but let's make a couple more, and then we'll probably make a copy like we did last time, and then continue on to like the next step of it. I think another next step for this one is starting to add some color into it. I'll go through and start changing a bunch of these. Kind of an easy way I do it is I'll group it all together, go within this group, select the object, and choose like the same fill and stroke. I'll change the strokes to blue. I'll select the same fill color, change that to blue. Kind of the next step of this is to, once you got something you really like, I'm gonna put this by my face here. We can start to see how these things look together. Pretty cool, pretty fun. Now that you have your like avatar, you could take it and like use it in like your avatar for social media, or Facebook, Twitter, but that's pretty much how to like kind of finalize your character, build in some extra elements, and start to like make different icons or avatars within that specific style given the elements you've created.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos.